I just realized that said poetry open mic night.
Yo, hello, hello, everyone, and welcome to not Poetry Open Mic Night, but a poetry workshop in conjunction with Poetry Open Mic Night that is on April 27th at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central.
On my town.
Yay! So, we're gonna introduce ourselves and go through the chat. But just an introduction to this video. We wanted to do like a little poetry workshop during April, which is Poetry Month, to kind of get some people writing poems and really kind of just why you should write poetry. We need,
And to get over the idea that if you think you can't write poetry, you're
yeah,
probably wrong. You probably can write poetry just like anybody else.
right. So, yeah, I'm gonna let JC introduce herself, and then I will.
Why I gotta go first? Hi, I'm JC, and I have videos and I write stuff. In addition to the 2 novels that I have, I do have 3 poetry collections that are available on Amazon and Kindle Unlimited. And yeah, that's me, Morgan.
Hello, my name is Morgan Lee. I am an indie author and a freelance editor. I have 2 books out, the first 2 in a dark fantasy trilogy, Seed Among the Thorns and Seed Among the Rocks. And I have a YouTube channel where sometimes I post things. And that is me.
And she has a poetry collection that I'm trying to get her to work on.
I do have a lot of poems that I do want to put into a collection. We'll say hi to our friend. Laura was here first.
Hi, Laura.
Lots of questions. Nia's here. Hello,
Hey, Nia.
And then
Michael's here.
you're excited. And Michael's here. Welcome to Not Poetry Open Mic.
And hi.
Hello.
Michael also writes poetry.
He does.
And Deidre writes poetry. Hello, Dee.
Okay.
How do we begin?
I don't know. Okay. So this is our agenda for tonight. I have a short little slideshow. It's not a lot, but it's just a short slideshow introducing just what poetry is, why you should consider and try.
Oh, okay. I was about to say she died. Dee? I'm sorry. Oh, that threw me off. She died.
Oh, Dee writes poetry. Yes, you do.
Yes, you have. You wrote some poetry that made us cry, in fact. But if y'all want to see Dee's poetry, just go back to some of our open mic nights in the past.
Mhm.
We really do need to put a playlist together, by the way. But
Yes.
okay, slideshow.
Okay, so yes, first we'll start with a little slideshow, just what poetry is, why you should write it, and how it can help you as a fiction author. And then we will pick a random poetry prompt and then do a little short sprint to try and write to that poetry prompt. And then we'll answer some questions from the chat about poetry in general. And then we are hoping to have a special guest come up who has a poem that needs to be actually workshopped. So that is the agenda for today. So that's fun, right?
Yay!
Okay, so here's my very short, very quick slideshow. Poetry writing. So, what is poetry? The basic definition that I got from What is Poetry from the Masterclass website says poetry is a type of literature that conveys a thought, describes a scene, or tells a story in a concentrated lyrical arrangement of words. And I forgot to do our disclaimer, but Casey and I are not professional poets. We are
Yeah,
just two women who like to write poetry.
and like to
So,
pour our thoughts and feelings
yes,
into poetic format.
yes.
I do not have poet laureate behind my
Mhm.
name or Nobel Prize winner or
No,
anything like that. So I am not a professional.
yeah. Well,
Morgan actually has a creative writing degree, so she might be more professional than me. But anyway.
barely. So yes, that is the basic definition of poetry. I also wanted to include like common misconceptions people have about poems, but I couldn't put together a list in time. Um, but yeah, I don't know. That is the first slide. So why should you write poetry? Um, I think personally, as a writer of fiction, that poetry helps with descriptions and word choice and crafting imagery and better scenes.
Hmm.
JC, you agree with that or
Yeah,
have?
yeah, especially if you're someone who likes to if you're someone who likes to weave messages metaphorically into your fiction,
Mhm.
poetry definitely helps for that. And if you're a purple prose type of person, it definitely helps for that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. And then, because my poetry for me is really personal poetry. So, like, it's everything that I'm thinking and feeling. And for me, that's beneficial when I'm creating characters who are having big, Laura, characters who are having these like really big emotions. It helps me like create that um, character, I guess, a little bit more concisely.
yeah,
Because
I think it really helps to discover or get to know your character in a different way. Um, because poetry is usually about your inner emotions and thoughts and feelings.
yeah,
So
and then poetry in itself in general is a great way to draw attention to important topics or important things that are happening in the world or in people's personal lives, and it gives like a sense of connection to other
mhm.
people. It's like, oh, this person is going through the exact same thing that I'm going through, or they feel this way about this, world event or
Social
political
justice
change.
issue or
Yeah.
social injustice issue, as sometimes the case may be.
Yeah, and it could be just so much easier to like relate to something that is um made to like emote whatever emotion in you. So
Hmm.
than just hearing somebody talk. But
Yeah.
and then
The
how
how.
how do you write poetry? So this is what I start with when I am sitting down to write poetry. I start with the feeling. So, what emotion or what universal truth or what human experience am I trying to convey to the reader or listener if I'm speaking it out loud? Um, and like I said earlier, a lot of my poems are just what I'm going through, and they tend to be a lot heavier, but they don't have to be heavy. Poetry doesn't have to be deep. It doesn't have to be heavy. It could be unserious. It could be silly ideas too. There's happy poems as well, but a lot of mine that you will probably hear on the 27th are not as happy. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm kind of the same. Yeah, I'm usually poetry only comes to me when I'm going through something,
Hmm.
usually traumatic and emotional. So they're probably not happy poems.
Yeah.
But I mean, poetry's already always been good. Like, I've never been a person that does the whole diary journal thing. I'm trying to get into journaling, but poetry for me was a type of journaling also because it was a way to get my feelings out without necessarily writing in stream of consciousness. Michael, these are happy poems as well, JC. Like, they're not mine. Michael's poems are actually very, very happy poems.
Mhm.
Mostly. I don't think I've read a sad poem of yours, Michael. But but then again, Michael's collection hasn't come out yet. We're still waiting on that.
Yes.
Oh, Laura.
I think I'm scared of my feelings. I only write poetry in conjunction with the story or prompt. They're never from my POV. Mm. I think, I mean, writing poetry is so cathartic for me, and it is so healing. Like, even more so than writing fiction. Like, I explore those emotions in fiction as well,
Mm.
but like poems, I don't know. It's something hits different
For
with
me,
like working through those things.
yeah, and for me, like when I started writing poetry, I was younger, and it was a
Mhm,
time where basically I was made to believe I couldn't express outwardly how I was feeling
mhm.
emotionally inside. We didn't talk about those emotions and those things in our household, and that was the way I got it out was poetry.
Yeah.
So that was my therapy. I didn't get to go see a therapist. Yeah,
Yeah,
poetry is good therapy.
it is.
Also, I think.
Yes. I would recommend like maybe even just starting with a feeling that's not as intense, like maybe a lighter feeling to like dip your toe into kind of writing about your feelings and emotions. So, I don't know. That's just my idea.
Yeah, like take a moment that makes you feel joy in
Mhm.
particular and write about the joy you felt.
Yeah.
A good emotion.
Again, we don't have to talk about all of the bad things that happen to us. We can
That's
be
just,
happy.
that's just my MO.
Yeah, that's mine too. I should probably that should probably be a challenge for me to write from my joy and from a happy emotion.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm gonna fail that challenge. Um,
We should we should do that though.
we should try. We let's Morgan. Let's come up with one happy-ish poem for poetry night.
Okay.
Happy-ish, happy adjacent.
Yeah. We need a happy adjacent poems because we're always crying at poetry night.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, and continue with like starting with the feeling. Um, even if it's not your own feeling, maybe even just something you've observed in somebody else,
Mm,
that you can like pull pull from, like get inspiration from, or get um, symbols and images from. So
yeah.
like either somebody in your life or somebody you've seen on TV or even just like a universal feeling that like all human beings experience this thing. And it doesn't have to be about something specific that happened to you, but like all everybody understands what this means.
I mean, the world is a dumpster fire right now. I feel like that's good fodder for
Yeah.
poetry. Hi, Dolores.
So yeah, and then just like find something that inspires you that you would like to highlight and dig deep into, and then just free write and see what happens, and don't judge it.
And it doesn't have to rhyme.
Yes.
It does not have to like it. The good thing about poetry that I love is there really are no rules. I mean,
Yeah,
yes,
there are rules.
technically there are rules, but not really.
Right, because there's free verse poems and blank verse poems that really they can be whatever you want them to be. You don't have to write a sonnet with iambic pentameter. You don't have to write
A
a
haiku.
a haiku. You don't have to write a limerick. You can if you want to. But I think for me personally, like getting into poetry for the first time, just write whatever you feel. and see what happens. And then if you want to learn all that stuff later, like meter and stanzas and all of the literary stuff, you can do that. But I think to jump into writing poetry, it should be more creative expression and free than
Yeah.
like, and then especially in like fiction writing where you like, okay, am I hitting all the beats and am I doing all of this stuff right?
Yeah.
And it's like
Poetry doesn't have all that.
you don't got to do any of that.
Yeah, what Dolores said, rules are made to be broken in poetry. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're playing with language. It's supposed to be fun. Like, can I make bat rhyme with dog? You know, maybe. What's
I'm not sure that's one that you can make.
I don't know. I couldn't think of a near rhyme, but sure. Let's play with language a little bit.
I forgot what that word was that I texted you one time and I was like, "Can I make this rhyme with this?" And you was like, "Yeah, that could work."
Sure. Bend the rules, bend the language. It's fine.
And if there's a stanza that just happens to not rhyme, that's fine too.
Hmm. That was intentional. They don't know.
Right.
Okay, so that's the end of my short little slideshow. Um, so question for the poets on the screen and in the chat, and then I also have a question for non-poets. But for poets, what type of poetry do you write? Like, do you write sonnets and use the rules and stuff, or are you just free? And why do you write poetry? So I can start if you want me to, or JC, you can start.
Hmm. I mean, I tend to write poetry that has like I'm a rhyming person, which I used to always think limited me as far as poetry because like a lot of the poetry I watched, like the slam, the spoken word poetry, they didn't rhyme and they were so good, and I was like, my poetry isn't that good because it rhymes. But
Mhm.
I've gotten away from that, so I'm a rhyming person usually every other line, or I'd like to do this thing sometimes where I write three lines that rhyme, and then that fourth line is different, but the fourth line in every stanza rhyme. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
the fourth, yeah,
fourth line in each fourth line rhymes.
yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, and why do I write poetry? Because I think since I don't have a therapist, it is my therapy. It's how I get stuff out. It's how I work through my emotions
Hmm.
and my feelings and thoughts and yeah, usually it's how I can express myself because I usually feel like I can't really express what I'm feeling to other people unless it's in poetry.
Hmm.
So yeah. But you, Morgan.
Um, mine. I mean, I'm similar. Um, when I started writing poetry, I was kind of just like free verse poems, I guess. And
Hmm.
I think I started with rhyming because I thought poetry had to rhyme. So I started with um, having every poem rhyme. And then I think once I actually like started studying poetry in college, because I did study creative writing, I liked learning about all of the different styles, like an acrostic poem and sonnets and limericks. I liked learning all of the rules so that
Hmm.
I can mix and match things. Like, oh, I can rhyme this line with this line and then skip, or I can repeat this line over and over again, and it gives the poem a different cadence. And I
Yeah.
loved all of that type of stuff. So I write kind of just a hodgepodge of whatever. And then sometimes I like to challenge myself and like, okay, I'm going to write a sonnet. I'm going to stick to the rules of sonnet. I'm going to write a sonnet based on the rules and see, because it's like a little bit of a challenge. Um,
Hmm.
one poem I haven't written is like what Dolores just said, like narrative poetry, or kind of like
Hmm.
who like I think D.L. Tillery has some like narrative, more like story
Yeah.
poems.
Yeah.
I haven't really written any of that
Yeah, I
type,
haven't tried that either.
but that would be interesting. And then why do I write poetry? Because it helps me get out my feelings and emotions. Like JC, I tend to only write poetry when I'm feeling something intensely and I need to get it out. And the only way it comes out is in poem form. I don't know why. Is that just how it happens? Um, and yeah, I write. I mean, I started writing because writing was always easier than talking. And I didn't want to like it was hard to tell people exactly what I was thinking. Um, so writing it was just easier. Um,
Man,
yeah, just makes it feel, I don't know.
easier.
Yeah.
I understand you. Ooh, we have some answers in the chat.
Mm, Dolores answered. Not the
Yeah.
only one?
But before that, Laura said, I'm not sure what the difference between a poem and pretty, slightly abstract illustrative prose, since prose poetry is a thing. I need guidelines. um,
I don't really think there are any.
which is the beauty of poetry. Um,
I mean, I guess it depends on where it is. Like, does it stand alone? Then it's a poem. Is it in a story?
but Laura, you kind of write abstract stuff. I feel like your writing is a little abstract. All of your writing, even your poems.
Because, like, prose can be poetic, but it doesn't make it a poem. I think it depends. I don't know, length. I don't know.
This is one poem I've never been able to success. Well, I don't think I've written them successfully. Is a haiku. Usually because I feel like they're too short. I'm like I can't
Yeah,
convey all of my
like,
feelings in.
I've written haikus, but I'm like, I don't know if this means anything. I feel like it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, because
I'm
I'm
like,
like
it's
this
too
is too
short.
short. I can't sum up everything I'm feeling in this little teeny few lines. I can't do it.
Yeah. Dolores says, I write narrative poetry, free verse, because that's what comes out. As long as my words flow is what matters to me, whether it rhymes or not.
See, I
Mm.
like that.
And like Michael said, I think you can call a poem. I think anything you want to call a poem, you can. Yeah. Um, I write rhyming stanzas with syllabic patterns. What's limerick? Limerick?
Limerick, limerick, like a limerick. Not
Oh,
sure.
limerick. I've written a limerick. They're not that fun. My sister wrote one about salmon in elementary school.
Oh, salmon.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
I can
interesting.
recite it for you if you'd like.
Stop. You remember it?
Oh yeah, because
Oh,
limericks are only set five lines.
okay. No one else might care, but I want to hear.
Okay, it's salmon, the pink orange fish. It's always there on my dish. My mom says it's good. I wish that she would toss it because that is my wish.
Oh, it's cute though. Like how old was she when she wrote that?
I don't know.
Oh, that's cute. Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry, Kat. I just had to hear it because that's so cute. I started to try and play with visual poetry. Ooh.
Oh yeah, I played with that a little bit too. I wrote one that was supposed to look like a roller coaster. I don't
A
know.
lot of your poems are roller coaster rides, Morgan. I feel like that could fit. There's a roller coaster of emotions with your poetry.
Yeah.
uh, written horror stories as poems. Yes, you have. Uh, I'm sad. I lost the one about hoarder, about a hoarder. Ooh.
Where'd you lose it?
And you could rewrite it.
Did you read it on poetry night? we can
Oh yeah, I was like, did you? Because we can, we can find it.
yeah, we can get that.
It's a definition of a prose poem.
It's
I
a
hate.
I think it's just like a story. But like a short story, but in a poetic rhythm.
Oh, She lost it before poetry night was a thing. Darn it.
Ooh,
Boo. I mean, you could just write a different one. It might be better. Who knows?
thanks.
What's weird? I also do not like haikus. Haiku. Oh, Lord. I wrote a haiku just now. Stop. Are you
Wait,
kidding me, girl? Of
oh,
course.
wait, no, wait for poetry of Black Night.
We'll be bringing you up in a moment. Pretty petal color briefly. Oh,
Mhm.
Laura, you don't. Are you sure you need help? I feel like I can learn some things from you, ma'am.
Okay, and then oh no, that's the wrong tab. Don't look at that. Okay, for our non poets, and then we're gonna go through some of the questions that um, Laura already put in the chat. And hello.
Well,
Um, but for our non poets in the chat, why don't you? And then if you have any questions, what questions do you have? So then I'm going to go back up to the ones I starred for Laura. And we're going to answer some questions. Maybe, if we can answer these questions.
yeah, because Laura, I'm not sure I know all the answers to your questions. So,
Okay. Any tips on making poems, chants, sound alien, non human, make them feel like they come from a time before or a place beyond, like a cult dug up an ancient text and the words summon an ancient being?
that's one of the ones I don't have. In
Write the words backwards.
oh,
Like
yeah,
you're actually saying something in English, but
but
just
backwards.
write it backwards. Spell everything backwards and write the sentence backwards.
You'll make people really scratch their heads, like, what in the world? And then
Mhm.
when they realize, if I just read it backwards, I'll know what they're saying.
Right. That's what poetry is.
Really?
Creativity.
Mhm.
So that would be mine. Um
Same. I echo what she said. Because
if anyone else has any.
backwards writing is fun. That's what she says. Yeah. Huh. That just gave me a good idea. Okay. Anyway, not that I'm thinking about writing any chants or anything, but I do have a paranormal story that I'm brainstorming. So if I should need any chants in there, thank you, Morgan, for that tip. I always try to read gibberish backwards just in case it's backwards writing. I've found
Mhm.
many clues that way.
See? Yeah, either that or like just scrambled up words.
Yeah.
Let's see. Any tips on experimenting with formatting poems, like where to break lines and when to make words float in the middle of the page, cascade like waterfall? What is your rule on this? Because I kind of just feel it out, like where I'm entering the line.
You talking about me?
Yeah.
Me?
Uh-huh.
Well, I don't do cascade like waterfall.
Yeah, I don't do that. But like,
Um, I just at the end, like the when I was said earlier that some of my poems it's every other line, so it's like the rhyming one is the second and fourth line, and that's
mhm,
just kind of. And then for the ones that's like the three lines rhyme, and then the fourth line rhymes with the other fourth line, it's
mhm.
just I break them up
Yeah.
every four lines. It's still every four lines,
Mhm.
whether no matter which one is rhyming or not. It's usually four lines. Then I break, and then the other four lines. I do have some poems that's just like you read it straight through, but not many. Um, I don't like formatting is a very hard issue for me, Laura. You know this. Oh, I don't know how to float like the cascading. Yeah, I'm not that poet. That's not me.
Because I tend to either break up the line where I want the person to stop, to take a pause and take a beat, and then sometimes I leave one word, like I only put one word on the line because like that's the part I wanted to emphasize. And then sometimes I just go off of vibes. Like I had someone compliment me on my structure and I was like, well, I kind of just I don't know why I did it like that. It just felt right.
What structure? There was a structure.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it goes with like after years of reading and writing poems, you kind of just get into like a rhythm
Yeah.
of like right.
Vibs, vibes, or vibs. Are we creating with Laura? It could be creating a new word.
Vibe is my kryptonite.
Vibs. I like the word vibs.
Blurs, I go with the flow of what the poem needs, except when I'm trying to do visual poetry. Yeah. Oh.
My- I'm just messing with you, Laura.
Um, but yeah, with that, just kind of go with the flow, or just like pause, like when you're where you want them to pause.
Yes, that is a good wherever you want the person reading your poem to pause.
Hmm.
That's where you should break it and like maybe go to the next line
Yeah.
because instantly, like if I'm reading a poem, that's where I would like if I'm reading it, if unless they go to the next line, I wouldn't. Where am I supposed to pause at?
Hmm.
So yeah, alien rips. Oh, you too, you too.
Okay.
Oh,
Next question. Feel free to ask any questions in the chat. How is poetry different than song lyrics? How much overlap is there? Slash, what's the difference?
honestly, I don't feel like there is much of a difference.
I don't either. I feel like it's the same.
A poetry is a song without the music,
Yep.
and a song is a poem with
It's
music.
music.
So I kind of feel like they're one and the same. It's just you add music to one and you don't have music on the other.
Mm-hmm. Because they say poetry is meant to be read aloud, so you're supposed to hear it. So just like a song, you hear it. Um, so yeah, that kind of like also with the other question, the last question, because if somebody's reading it out loud, when you're breaking the lines, it's kind of like the natural flow of like this the speech pattern.
Hmm.
So that's our expert opinion.
From the non-experts.
Any tips on how to expand my poetry style? Right now, I rely on syllable patterns and rhyming.
My honest only tip, honestly, my only tip would be to just keep practicing writing poetry.
Hmm.
You get better as you write it. Um, when you start out, you're gonna feel like you're not that great.
Yeah,
I did. Um, so it's the same with writing fiction. The more you practice it, the more you work that muscle, the better you get at it. Reading poetry also helps too. If you're not reading poetry, if you want to be a better poet, read. Gotta read what you want to be better at.
yeah. And then, really, I know this might be difficult, but don't worry about the rules. There's no rules. You
That is
can you can
hard for our Laura.
right, but like think about just like conveying an idea that you want. You're just trying to express something in a different way using words in a playful way.
But I need rules.
You don't need rules. If
Don't.
you I mean, if you do need rules, you can write okay, you can look up the rules of like a sonnet. You can write a sonnet. You can start with the rules. You can start with the structured poems if that would be better for you to learn the rules first and then you feel free to break them later.
They actually say you should learn the
You should
rules
do
so
that.
that you can break them. They even say as far as writing, when you read writing craft books, they say that too about because I was getting ready to say hot take. But writing craft books aren't always necessarily like 100% what you should do either. But
Yeah.
you learn the rules so that you can break them.
Yeah. And I tend to operate the opposite way and just do whatever I want. And then I learn, I'm like, oh, that's what I should be doing. Um, but yeah, so that could be a tip as well, is to start thinking about or start trying to write
Oh,
something that Laura,
but poetry's good for that.
yeah,
And if it's feelings that you're scared about people knowing, you don't have to share the poem. It can
right,
just be for you.
yeah.
Um,
It can be just personal poetry.
and I know that's hard for you too because you do share everything. You love to share,
Or
Laura.
you just write about an emotion that you also have, but it's not your POV for the poem.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wanted to do more narrative,
Oh, Lord, to share.
if you wanted to do someone else's, like if you wanted to do something you are actually going through, but you don't want it to be like from you specifically, your point of view, then try, even if it's just like trying to look at it from somebody else's perspective or creating a character that
Mm-hmm.
is going through that thing. And so it's less connected to you
And no one will know it's really what you're feeling unless you tell them.
unless you
So
tell.
you
Yeah.
could write it from your character's point of view, but you'll know whether
Mhm.
it's yours or not. Whether it's from yours or not. And to your or else it's chaos. There's beauty in chaos, Laura.
Yeah. Look at all of us.
A bunch of chaos.
From when I could throw the rules away, I had an English teacher tell me my poetry got better once I stopped overthinking it. Yeah. But yeah, if you wanted to start with like the poems that have rules, you could do that as well. Because free verse poems don't have rules.
Yeah.
And so,
The haikus. Start with yeah, I swear I think if you can get good at writing haikus, you probably could write about just about any poem. Because
yeah.
haikus are hard for me.
Yeah. And then maybe just like start by learning like the structure of poems, like meter and rhyme and stanzas and um,
Alliteration.
alliteration and things like that, like learning the literary devices and then being able to like incorporate them more in just stuff you're writing.
Yes.
Speaking of, what are your favorite literary devices used in poetry?
Alliteration and metaphor. Whether I use metaphor good enough, I don't know. But I love alliteration. And yeah, those are my two favorites. Morgan.
Mine is repetition. If you listen to my poem, I use it a lot. Um, and then also metaphor and yeah, yep. I think that's it.
Oh. Laura said I studied the poetic devices to use in my prose writing. It really helped.
Me?
And I'm always going to suggest it's a good poet to read Maya Angelou because she is what got me started writing poetry.
Yeah.
And I also love Amanda Gorman, who's newer, but she writes excellent poetry.
Okay. Don't see any more questions in the chat. So do you want to
Did we send Laura a link?
not yet. Do you want to try the poetry prompt first for us
Oh,
to read one and then send Laura a link to come up and workshop her poem?
sure. Yes.
So we're going to do one poetry prompt as a group. I'm going to get a random number generator.
Laura loves prompts.
Okay, it generated 13.
Morgan. My favorite is repetition. JC. Oh, Morgan. My favorite is repetition.
I love repetition. It really brings the point home.
It does. It really does. I think that's why I like rhyming so much. I mean, even though it's not necessarily the same thing, but it does get a rhythm and you're kind of stuck in your head. Anyway,
Okay, it picked number 13. What is 13?
I don't know what is 13.
Oh, wait, no, I don't want to show it. I want to edit it. Okay. Hmm. Well, we can't. I don't want to. I don't like that one. It says
Is that from?
yeah, the
Is
list you sent me.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't like that
It
one
says tune into a radio station you don't normally listen to and write a poem based off the first song you hear. I mean, I guess we could do like we're not going to tune into a radio station though.
either. Nope. Don't like that one. Next.
Narrate 17. Mm-mm.
Oh. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, imagine you are from another planet stuck. You said 17?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine you were from another planet stuck on Earth and longing for home. Oh.
Oh, especially nowadays. Whew, take me home.
Like Mars is looking real good.
Okay, we could do that.
Oh gosh. Oh, this is gonna be silly. I'm just letting y'all know now. Laura likes it.
Alrighty, how long should we go?
10 is 10 minutes too short?
Maybe. I don't know. What does chat think?
That's up to you. Or chat.
Mm, pulling up the timer. Maybe 15?
Okay.
15 minutes?
Oh boy. I was gonna say or Venus. No. I wanna be on Mars. Men are from Mars. So
Okay. So we're gonna write a poem based on this prompt. Imagine you are from another planet, stuck on Earth and longing for home.
mm.
It can be whatever structure you would like. And feel free to
Aw.
words. And then later you can share in the chat if you'd like, but you don't have to.
Okay.
All right. So 15 minutes on the clock. Good luck.
I'm not ready.
How'd it go?
I'm not ready. It's not great, and it started off kind of strong, but then I got yeah. It's not great. It's
I'm
fine.
sure it's great.
No, I'm pretty sure it's not. It's also not finished.
Mine's not either. I
Oh
could probably go for. It's probably gonna be really long the way I
yeah, to be continued on
set this
poetry
up.
night.
Yeah, I think I'll finish it.
I think I'm gonna finish mine too. I just uh, hmm hmm. I don't know if I want to share what I have because it's not great right now. Where it is.
That's okay.
Okay.
You want me to share first?
Yes, please, because I'm sure yours is fantastic.
Sure. Okay. I want to go home is all I can say, but the glances I get are the same. An upturned nose and a disgruntled glare as the crowd bustles lost without aim. My heart steady beats, mine reeling in panic as shoulders knock at my side. You'd think a green creature, eyes bloodshot and wide, would cause mankind to scream and to hide. But the cogs keep turning, the humans blind to the threat of an alien lost on their planet. Yet the cries of the earth, spread deep through the cosmos, were too much to ignore or abandon. The mission seemed noble, lost humans needing aid, my kind poised as their savior. That's it.
Oh damn, you got so much further. I literally just have two stanzas, and I got caught up because I went to Google to see what rhymes with this, and I just got so. And it, you know what? I think I might have strayed from the theme of the prompt. It's fine. It just says, yeah, I went with like real world alliteration, like the dumpster fire that we're in. All I got as far as whew, okay. They said this place was supposed to be the land of the free, but they judge you on everything and tell you how to just be. Try to make you see things in the way they want you to see. They don't want you to know what's really at stake. Here, they're taking away your basic ability to just choose. It's not about whether you win, but just how much you're going to lose. They want they want you to not wake up and just keep hitting the snooze, pushing you to see just how much you can take. That's all I got so far.
That's good.
That's terrible, and it's probably not even the thing.
It is. It
Okay.
is. I was kind of going with from the same angle of like, okay, they're here, and then it's like, oh, what is this place? What the heck?
Oh, thank you, Laura.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
I do want to finish it though, because I'm like, oh, that put some of my feelings about what's going on in the world right now. It's going.
Yeah.
So y'all will hear the rest of it hopefully on Poetry Night.
Hmm.
Oh, good. I'll have one poem.
Yeah, I'll have one too.
um, Laura said hers was too much for the chat, but I really want to hear hers.
Well, Laura sent you the link. Oh, there you are.
Thank you, Michael.
Laura,
And
it's
Morgan, yours was fantastic as I thought it would be.
yours.
Laura.
Wow. I was like, I don't see an email from JC. Maybe it's on Instagram.
Oh
So
yeah.
like, yeah, hi.
Hi.
I
So we invited Laura to workshop a poem, but she can go over ahead and read what she wrote for the prompt too.
Let
Oh, I
me
can't wait.
share my screen.
Dolores has claps.
All the claps.
Michael, I was really expecting to hear something from you.
Yes.
No pressure though. No pressure at all. Just a little, but no.
Okay. Home. Purple grasses that bend in the breeze, twin suns that dance across celestial heavens, the laughter of siblings in time forgot, before my cryo freeze. Home. The rain of comets coming too close, now meteors impacting our dwelling. We ran so far and only I arrived. Home. Burned in the back of my eyelids, I see it in my dreams, the smell of mother's cookings and of her charred remains. Home. Obliterated. Weeping. Earth. Unwelcome yet where we must stay. crunching brown and pickly green, only one sun, and no siblings. Earth, no meteor needed to bring its destruction, for the humans have done it alone. Man versus man and man versus nature, all are left to cry. Earth, I curl upon myself beneath the square of cotton. The fires are coming close. War and death, disease and hate, they are this planet's doom. Earth, obliterated, weeping, I succumb.
Oh my God, Laura.
Laura,
Okay,
that's
hopefully you don't mind, Morgan, but can I invite you to come back on Poetry Night and read that for those who aren't here right
yes,
now to hear it? Because that is amazing.
that was yes.
I started weeping initially when you first read a couple of lines. I was like, oh, I'm already crying. I'm already crying.
And again, repetition. See, I love it.
And Laura, I don't know if you realize how much your writing makes people feel things,
Yes,
but
Laura,
it really
so
does.
good.
They don't get anything out of me.
I don't know if you can see the tears in my eyes, but I'm just like, especially when you got to Earth, I'm just like,
I know.
oh, okay. Anyway, you're not supposed to make us cry not on Poetry Night. I'm just okay. Sorry. My emotions got the better of me. I'm sorry.
Oh, good. So yeah, it was kind of a mix of both yours and JC's. Like it was both of them.
I
Yeah.
can see that. Oh, yes, you have to come back on Poetry Night.
Then we can all read ours, and then
Yes. Except for Laura's is the only one that's already finished.
yeah.
But I love yours. Leave it just the way it is. It's perfect.
It just had issues with the sticky E key that kept not working. Like, stupid key. Anyway.
How did I do that? Okay. When we were workshopping, aren't you workshopping an alien? No. What did you say? A zombie?
The zombie.
So this is for my Halloween romance. So this is like Night Before Christmas world, where it's like a Halloween world.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a band that are all zombies. And so this is the lyrics for their song that I wrote as a poem. It's called Lock of Hair. And like I wrote the first stanza, and I really like the first stanza. And it has the voodoo elements of the zombie.
Mm-hmm.
But then all the middle doesn't. I'm like, do I need to tweak it? Help.
Or could you be overthinking it?
I don't know. Like, I guess zombies used to be humans, but like...
They were before they were bitten. And
Yeah.
okay, wait a minute. Nope, that's the wrong... Is that the right thing? No, I don't know.
You get bit by a zombie. So, let me change the format of the window. It's a little bigger. Okay. So it's called Lock of Hair. Tresses fine as the silk of time wrapped round your effigy, a token of your broken oath, our rancid chemistry. For you once said, my dearest one, that we would never part, but scissors came and cut away, leaving my beating heart. You scream and cry at nothing real, before demanding that I change. If only you opened your eyes and see that you're deranged. I'm tired of catering your whims, my love for you's a thread, and so I cut away your locks, the world to bear your head. Tresses fine as the silk of time wrapped round your effigy, a token of your broken oath, our rancid chemistry.
It might just be me, but I don't see a problem, right?
What was the question?
I feel
Like,
there's
does this reflect the supposed author of the song poem that's a zombie? Or is this too human?
Well, it depends on what kind of zombies they are. Because there's different types of zombies who are still have some of their
humanity.
Yeah, still have some of their humanity left. So it depends on what kind of zombies you're going for.
They were once human.
Yeah,
That's true.
They still remember their human
their
feelings.
brain. You know,
Melted brain.
I'm just
maybe
reading
from
this and I'm
eating
like, where's
all of
the
the human brains, because zombies eat brains, right? So they eat. Maybe that's where they got the human, the humanity to write this song.
Have you ever watched the show iZombie?
No.
She got turned into a zombie and then she had to eat brains in order to survive. But the brains that she would eat, she would take on those emotions and those feelings. So they still had emotions and feelings of humans.
Mhm.
They just, aren't human anymore.
Yeah, they're just
Thank you. I'm just like, I'm sorry, what was the problem again?
Okay.
Laura, it's good.
Okay. Okay.
You just needed someone to tell you it's good, didn't you?
I guess. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm just like, I don't know what to tell. I don't know how to perfect upon perfection. I, I'm reading. I'm just like, I'm looking.
And
I
you
mean, I
said
can,
this is for a short story or a full length book, or what? What story is
Full
it?
length.
Oh, okay.
and I love how you repeated the first stanza and the last, like the first and the last are the same. Like it really brings it home and ties it all together. And I'm just, yeah, I
Hmm.
can't find a single thing wrong with it.
Okay.
And I know that you hate when people tell you that there's nothing wrong with things, but sometimes it's true.
Okay.
And I'm reading it again to try to see, and I couldn't.
Yeah, I read it 3 times, and I'm just like, can I write poems that good? Like,
Oh my gosh.
and that was your first. Like, how many times did it take you to get that?
Pretty much a first draft, second
Yes,
draft.
yeah, yeah. You are what I've strived to be, because my
I
poems
do
take
have a
lots of work.
I do have a prose poem that needs help. That might.
Morgan, remember, she just said this one needed help. So,
Okay, this was one of the first poems I ever wrote. Okay.
okay,
Window. And I made art to go with it.
stop. Before we know it,
Oh,
Laura's
that's
going to
so
be
cute.
putting out a poem. Oh, I love this. That is cute.
It's in the style of like what's his face, the guy who did the Roald Dahl illustrations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Um. So this one needs help. Okay. Robert clutched his find to his chest, running all the way home. He did not stop for rest until cobalt blue was boiling on the stove. The find was a rare, bright spot in his dingy apartment. Scribbles and writing no longer brought the starving artist delight. Black and gray became his world no more. The enameled kettle sky was his only window to the lights not known to the poor, not known for a reason. A piercing wail turned his blood to ice, the human scream of a dying man in vice. "Hello?" he called, only to realize it came from his tiny kitchen. The teapot was screaming and stricken. Running to remove it from the heat, the final words of a man screeched in his ear for a beat. "Abigail!" Abigail, Robert thought. Surely he had misheard the draft. What teapot would scream a name that was not new to fame? The previous owner, killer of men, was well known to him through story. All tales of infamy, all tales gory. Poison administered unknowingly through some device undetected had brought 7 gallant gentlemen to their untimely doom. All found dead, laid side by side in a room. With care Robert poured streaming waterfall into chipped mug, preoccupied with tea bag. The swirls of vapors faced him, looking into his own with undead eyes that sagged. In fright he dropped the mug, the liquid leaving the shards with a groan. All that lingered in the air, wisps of a death moan. What had transpired? Had he truly heard the voice of those who had expired? Voice beyond the grave, lingering on a slave to the kettle from whom he would have drunk today. Once more he turned the burner on, to test his fortitude and imagination. This time the old man's wail reached towards heaven. "Arsenic!" he screamed. "You've poisoned the tea!" Ears ringing with the screeches of the departed, he removed the pot from the heat's reaches. No more to test, no more to tempt the sound of undead speeches. So it's my first attempt at a prose poem. I don't know what I'm doing.
Mhm.
Huh.
Mm.
I was going to say, as you read it, it sounded poetic, but I think what's tripping me up looking at it is the breaking points aren't where they necessarily should be.
Uh-huh.
Um, I don't know, Morgan, if you like, hold up, let me see example of what I'm talking about. Um, trying
Like
to.
there's some rhyming some places and not in others. I heard there's no rules, but that doesn't mean it's quality.
I think it's more on the story of it,
Mhm.
because I thought I didn't think anything of like the rhyming. I thought that was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I caught the rhyming, but looking at it, you can't see where they. Hmm.
the thing, okay, I don't know if I understand the story.
Okay,
Is my thing of
so
why.
Robert goes to like an estate sale,
Uh huh.
buys this blue tea kettle.
Hmm.
It's the only thing of color in his apartment, and so it's a bright spot, and he's very excited.
Hmm.
And he puts water in it, puts it on the stove, and the estate sale was of a woman who killed men, but they
Okay.
don't know how.
Oh, interesting.
And so when he puts the kettle on the stove, it screams the killer woman's name, and so he's concerned.
Okay.
But it's in the voice of a man that's screaming it. And so he goes and he pours the water into the mug, and the steam becomes the face of the dead man. And
Mm.
then he's like, "What the heck?" Drops the mug on accident. It shatters, and he's like, "Okay, I'll try this one more time." Puts it on the stove, puts the kettle on the stove, turns it on, and it screams that she poisoned the tea with arsenic. So she
Okay.
used that teapot as the murder weapon.
Got it.
And see, I did not pick that up.
Got it. Okay. I understood yeah, I understood the first part, but I didn't understand the last part of yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the kettle's lament. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay. I'm trying to see how to help. I don't know. Um,
it's beyond help.
no.
Oh, there's my grave one. That's
I
my
don't
other.
think it's beyond help.
It's like I have the idea. I just need to start over with the prose.
I feel like it reads more like a drabble.
That was the idea.
Okay. But you want it to be a poem, a poet, prose poem.
A
Oh, yeah.
prose poem, and prose poems have no rules,
Yeah.
so that doesn't help.
I'm looking up because I don't write pro. I never written a prose poem, so I'm looking it up.
Yeah. So
Because okay, everyday writing, straightforward, no line breaks, traditional conventions, linear fashion, clear beginning, middle, and end. Okay. Uh-huh.
Well, there is a clear beginning, middle, and end.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, the only thing is what is, I guess, like making that part of the story a little bit clearer. Because that's the only thing I was confused on, was I didn't pick up the. Does it say he got it from an estate sale? Or was I just not paying attention?
Um, no.
Okay. Because I think, like, because for me, I was thinking, like, how did he know? Is this from his point of view?
It says that it was the previous owner.
Okay. But
Is
is it like an omniscient narrator who's saying that, who's telling us? Or is
No, this is
he
Robert's POV. It's like close third, I guess.
okay? So he knows that this
Yes.
person was a killer of men.
Yes. That's why the teapot was so cheap.
Okay, I'd probably mention it a little, just like a little bit early. Wait, let's see. Well, yeah, or maybe like mention in the beginning of the story that he got it from an estate sale, and maybe say like maybe maybe include a little earlier that the previous owner was a killer of men, but he's like, oh well, it was cheap, and then doesn't think
Mm-hmm.
anything of it, and then it starts screaming the name, and he's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have gotten this teapot. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, because I was wondering why or how he knew, and then yeah, but I like the story. I was just confused on that part of um the background of the kettle.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm trying to because I feel like to the reader's eye it would read more like a poem, like you want it to be read, if it was formatted differently.
Right.
Like it would still convey the story, but it would translate more like a poem. Like, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to because like you said, some of the there's rhyming in some parts and there's not rhyming in other parts. So that's because I was like where it says Robert clutched his fine to his chest, and I would go to the next line and say running all the way home, and then but see no. Uh, I just feel like formatting would help it appear more like a poem, but I just can't
Because
figure
like
out how to how it would be formatted.
this one is more formatted like a poem, even though it's a story.
Hmm.
Um, so I think this one works a lot better. I'll just read it. It says, thud, thud, thud. A deep sound reverberated through the quaint metropolis. Following the beat, all came to gather at the necropolis. Knock, knock, knock. Villagers lean in with bated breath. After an hour of redigging the grave, the inhabitant not at rest. Boom, boom, boom. The rotted wood of the coffin bowed with the repeated knells. Someone trying to escape all hells. Crack, snap, splinter. Skeletal fingers, freed from their confines, grabbed the judge by his robes. "It's time you took my place a corpse," he said as he rose. Scream, scatter, run. All round the deep dirt hole they fled in terror, his lordship dragged inside, clawing back with fervor. Whisper, hide, shiver. Townspeople cower in their homes from the risen, stricken in their core. One by one they die of terror if they venture out once more.
Yeah, that reads like a poem for me, and
Even though it's like
it's
almost
telling a
prose.
story. It's telling a story. I can get the story. But it reads like a poem for me.
Yeah. But this one is more story, less poem.
I
I
still
mean,
call it a poem. It's still a poem to me.
yeah, it's still a poem. Like when you read it, when you're reading it, it sounds like a to my ear. It sounds like a poem. I can get the story, but it still sounds like a poem. But looking at it, it's like the format is not like the second one is formatted like more like a poem.
Mm-hmm.
And but I can't figure out how to structure it visually.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take a stab at it. Completely brand new draft.
But I like the story.
I do, and I love the
I
fact that
like the
the
art.
kettle, the kettle steams in the man's face.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that's Abigail, the name coming in the steam.
Hmm.
But yeah.
oh. Laura said you can have a poem formatted like the other one. You just have to work the words so that flow. So the flow, I don't know how to describe. Yeah,
Yeah. What are my thoughts?
but I do like the story that it's telling.
Hmm.
Thanks. I don't know. Did we help you at all, Laura?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I would just like to know who Abigail was a little bit sooner.
Hmm.
And then I would know why the kettle was screaming Abigail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's my only note of as far as like editing it. Um
The kettle holds Abigail's secrets.
Yep. The ghost of the men she killed with it.
That also sounds like a good story, by the way, but I'm just not trying to put ideas in your head because you have a lot of story ideas already.
I don't know what you mean.
but I like it, and with the art it looks and reads kind of like a Shel Silverstein poem.
Mm,
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
Mm-hmm. He's one of my faves.
cool, cool.
Yay!
Yay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Oh,
I don't know. You have any more poems you want us to workshop? Or we can, I don't know, either write another one or end our
Regina said the
workshop.
art is perfect.
Yes, it is.
I love that artwork.
thanks.
So,
I have a bunch of like standalone stanzas of song lyrics that I wrote for these bands.
Mm.
that's going to be so fun.
I just want to show them off real quick. So, um,
Mm.
these are the bands.
Stop. This is such organization. Okay, I'm sorry.
And their genre, who the lead singer is, what species the band is, the song title, and the stanza. Like, pick up the shovel you never really let go. Lay me down beside you and fill the open grave. We'll reap what we sowed. We never behaved. Oh, bury me with you, bury me with you.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have lots. Lots.
Wow.
That
Okay.
is, wow, Laura.
If pumpkin seeds told the future, I'd see them in your eyes. I'd see the ones we never lost and those that are still to come.
Mm. So, do
Yeah.
you mean for these to become complete songs, or are you just going to leave them as stanzas mentioned briefly in the fiction?
So Lock of Hair is the only one that I've actually fully expanded
Mm.
so far.
Regina has a comment.
Yeah.
Um, she says, "My only tiny comment is that the Abigail poem moved too fast."
Maybe that
Mm.
was it. Hmm.
It's like it's too abstract in the phrasings
Maybe.
as well.
Ooh, but homework assignment. Work on it and come back on poetry night and read that one too. Mm-hmm. Two for us, Laura.
Yeah.
You got this.
It's like it moved too fast, but it has a lot more words than normal poems.
Well, not really.
I was about to say not really, because
Narrative poems and prose poems are pretty long. A lot of them are like
pages long.
pages and pages and pages
Mm.
long. So I mean, like
And
Yeah.
spoken word poetry, those can be pages long.
You could stretch it out a little bit of like him finding it at the estate sale, and then him bringing it home, then him trying to make tea, and
Regina has
then
Regina has another note.
the next.
Abstract, but could use some feelings here and there to draw out the horror of the murder. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, Regina.
Yeah, very true.
Are you also a poet, Regina? Poetry night is, I was about to say August. April 27th at 5 p.m. You know,
Bring your
we have
poems.
a Google form on both of Morgan and I's
Yes, you
community tab.
can, Jocelyn. That's what this workshop is for. You
Rewind,
can write a poem.
rewind to the beginning, Jocelyn. We talked
You
about that.
can.
The good thing about poetry is there really are no rules. I mean, there are, but they're not.
Yes.
Oh, about that.
Experiencing events in the poem pass too quickly. Yeah. For the reader and me to actually feel what was happening.
Mm, got what you said. Jocelyn, you can write a poem.
Yes, you can. Okay.
I believe in you.
Yes, we all believe in you, Jocelyn. She said, okay. We challenge you as well, Jocelyn.
We will bully you into writing poetry. No, I was kidding.
Maybe not bully, but
Write the poem now.
challenge you. We challenge you to challenge yourself to write a poem and come share it with us on April 27th on Poetry Night.
I do have a poetry craft book that I want to read.
Mm.
That's on my shelf, staring at me.
You'd like to share what the title is and the author, so maybe, those in the chat. Also, Morgan, do you have a favorite poet?
I don't. Mm-mm.
Oh, thanks.
Oh,
It's called Writing Poetry in the Dark by Stephanie M. Witovich.
nice. Aren't you and Steve reading it? Are you and Steve reading? That's not one you're reading, or is it?
Hmm?
That's not a book that you and Steve are doing for Craft Chat, is it?
We did Writing in the Dark. This is Writing Poetry in the Dark.
Okay. Now I know y'all did Writing in the Dark. I thought that I had saw. I know he has a list of upcoming chats, and I thought I saw that on there, but
You did?
I thought I did. I could be wrong. I could have seen it. I could have seen it from you and just be remembering it wrong. I know I've seen that book before. It could have been you that I saw it. But yes,
So, shall I read the back?
sure.
It says, Writing Poetry in the Dark brings together some of the most successful contemporary genre poets to discuss topics related to creating dark and fantastical poetry. While there are countless books available for the aspiring poet, there is a lack of resources specifically for and on speculative poetry. And with the market thriving, publishers who previously did not put out poetry are now adding it to their catalogs, requesting it for their anthologies, and seeking it for their magazines. That is true, I have seen those submissions. Given these factors, it seemed like the perfect time to put together a guide for dark poets that address some of the unique challenges they face, such as creating monsters out of white space, writing the hybrid poem, or subverting folklore in the retelling of a classic tale. Including in Writing Poetry in the Dark are recommendations on how to bring fear to the page, write from the wound, let violence loose, channel the weird, and tackle the dark side of daily life. There are also practical suggestions for exploring different poetic forms and topics ranging from building worlds, writing from different points of view, and exploring gender and sexuality on the page. This book will bring something different to every speculative writer who is interested in exploring poetry with a genre twist. It is our hope that this book will help poetry itself continue to evolve, grow, and redefine itself in the market for years to come. And it has essays by all these people.
Nice. Oh, I need to put that book on my list.
Mm-hmm.
It's on my list.
I'm glad that they're becoming more accepting of poetry because back in the day that was not something you could submit
Mm-hmm.
easily anyway.
Usually it's like you can submit one short story or 3 poems.
Mm.
And then they'll pick.
About time poetry got some respect. Put some respect on its name.
That's what I was about to say too.
I've submitted poems, but they've never been picked.
Mm.
They're lost. um,
Hey.
I don't know. I feel like that's it.
Or
Did
I
you
mean,
want to do another prompt?
we can do another prompt, or we can end. I don't mind either way.
If we
I
do
don't
another prompt,
want
we'll have more to read on poetry night.
to. Yeah.
Jeez.
What?
You sound so enthusiastic about that option.
No. I just, you know, I'm up here with greatness, and I don't want to produce another bad poem.
Whatever.
Not bad.
Okay. It's just not done. There you go. We're gonna go
Yes,
with that.
not
It's
finished.
not finished. Michael, I'm still challenging you. Where's your poem? Let's see. Pop back up in the chat. Um.
Okay. So
Okay.
we're doing
Randomizer.
okay. Number 4.
Death.
Oh. Taste the rainbow. What the? Lucky
Skittles.
Charms. Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. You went Skittles. I went Lucky Charms. But okay. What does your favorite color taste like? Ooh. Oh, that's an
That's
interesting
cool.
poem.
Okay. Let me copy that. Put it on the screen.
I like that.
Blue. I don't know what blue tastes like. Oh, actually, you know what? Nope.
It tastes like crystal light on the beach.
Wasn't where I was going, but I like that. I was going to go to my usual dark place. Taste the rainbow. What is your favorite color? Taste? Okay, yes. Okay. It's not going to be good. I'll preface that now. It'll be better by poetry night.
You want to do 15 minutes again or 10?
15's good. It gave me time to double my poem.
The fact that you came up with the singular in less than 15, like, okay.
Did you notice? I didn't have a rhyming scheme and I didn't have a meter scheme.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do the rules.
Very proud of you.
And it was good.
And it was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very proud of you, Laura.
Alrighty. So 15 minutes. Encourage you in the chat to also write. The prompt is taste the rainbow. What does your favorite color taste like? Interesting. And go.
Totally did not finish that one. Bye, Michael.
Bye.
Bye. All right. I was really into that one.
I did not finish.
Oh, I'm far.
Again, it is not great. I'll go first just to get the bad one out of the way. Um,
Whatever.
it's not. It's really not great. Blue. The color blue resembles a certain sense of calm or the peace that looking at the sky would bring me, like purified freshness from a flowing waterfall, or to my taste buds the saltiness of the ocean and sea, like cotton candy eaten at a county fair, or fresh blueberries baked inside of a tart, a snow cone of shaved ice on a hot summer's day, or a, and that's where I stopped.
Nice start. You want to continue?
Laura, volunteer as tribute. Volunteer Laura as tribute.
Okay. Do, do, do. Is this? No, that's not. Yeah. No, window. That's not. Like, what? It's not the right one. All right. Purples. Pleasant pockets of bursting pop rocks hidden in ice cream. Umami wooden fungi and pixie dust adorning my niece's dress. Ripe fruits and violets floating in the punch at a christening. Plum flowing bruises healing as shackles and chains are broken. Lusciously sweet frosting on a child's birthday cupcake. Earthy forest air and s'mores as the lowering sun sets clouds ablaze. Salty precious pearls and shells lapped by waves at the beach.
How do you not consider yourself a poet?
And it spells purples.
I caught that. I caught that instantly, actually.
I was gonna do that, and then I was like, nah, I don't want to do that.
I should have done that. I might have actually had an easier time. Wow. Next time Laura says she's not a poet, Morgan, we'll remind her of this stream.
Okay. I don't know where I was going.
Someplace wonderful.
I scribbled a lot of things, so forgive me if I can't read it. Okay. Green tastes like honeysuckle, sweet nectar hitting my tongue, sharp blades of grass prickling my skin, like mint chocolate chip ice cream in summer. Or okay, this sounds weird. I'll explain later. Okay, or or two Rottweilers sitting on a waterbed. Green tastes like falling off my bike and skinning my knee, like Barney in the backyard gang, like the smell of sweat from too many kids inside our air conditioned gym. Green tastes like the calm stillness before a summer storm, or the eerie silence before tornado sirens tell us to take cover. We don't, though. We stand outside looking up at the gray green sky, waiting for the rush of running for cover. Different word. Green tastes like playing hide and seek in the dark in an abandoned park, like telling ghost stories of departed souls still plaguing the grounds. Green tastes like my first kiss, a swing in the park, the boy who made me feel like I wasn't invisible but loved. It's not done yet, but
Nice.
Oh,
I,
I
I
like
was
it.
naming all of the like childhood innocent fun things because
Oh, see, now if I should have thought about all the things I associate with blue, I was literally thinking of literal taste. Okay, I'll refine that. But Regina dropped something in the chat for us.
right. The color that I taste the most is tan with butter, like my toast. It's brown and dark and filled with tears, salt when gone, but sweet for years. It's white and curled like soft ice cream, and tastes like joy in every dream. When he runs free and comes to see if I'm still me, such a joy, my good boy. Aww.
Oh, I love that, Regina. Oh,
Yay!
Excellent job, Regina.
yes, that was fun.
That was. Now I got two poems to edit and finish.
I do, and I have some more prompts to explore on this little list there.
Yeah.
If you want, Morgan, I can send you the rest of the prompts that was on that page that I did not copy.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yay. Well, this was a good time. I hope everybody had fun writing poems and learning why you should write poems, and hopefully we gave you some kind of encouragement to write them. Um, on April 27th is our poetry open mic night on JC's channel.
What day of the week?
It's on a
Sunday,
Uh,
5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central.
mhm.
Google Forms are on our community posts tab. I don't know what they're calling them now on YouTube because they
Yeah.
stopped calling them community tab. Now it's just posts. I don't know what they're doing.
Let me see if I can get the form. I can put it in the chat. But yeah, you don't have to sign up. But if you sign up, then we know who's going to be there, and it's not just going to be us.
It helps the nerves.
Yeah,
helps the
it
nerves.
does. I'm like, oh, nobody's coming. um, so let me copy the link.
And also, if you want to sign up and have one of us read it, and you don't want to come on and read it, that's perfectly fine too.
Yes. Okay, Google form poetry.
And Laura, thank you for being with us.
Yes, that was fun.
Oh, Google Form, yay!
All right, I put the form in the chat, and do we want to do outros?
Oh, we do?
Do we want to do those? April 27th.
Yes, April 27th, 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central on a Sunday. So you know the day of the week you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. I spelled Eastern wrong. Don't look at it.
You know what you mean. You know what you mean.
But yeah. Outros or no?
I'm JC.
We have, I have to announce it. Writer's Room is also that Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
At 1 o'clock on Tiffany's channel, I think. 1 p.m. Central. And then Off Street Poetry Open Mic on JC's at 4 Central, 5 Eastern.
Yes. Morgan double booked herself.
Yay!
Yay!
I'm me.
Huh?
I'm me.
The amazing, magnificent Laura Nettles. Yes.
I think I'm still one subscriber away from 800.
If you're not subscribed to Laura, please go do so. She should have already been at 1,000, but we're not gonna hold that against anyone. And Morgan, the phenomenal Morgan Lee, has books, and she has a channel with wonderful vlogs and videos on there.
There, I did the form.
And a soon-to-be poetry collection. I'm speaking it into existence.
One day. It's in the plans. All right.
Johnson, she said, "Don't look now. I have to look."
We will see you guys at Poetry Open Mic and in other places, probably. Easter.
Throughout the week.
An excellent fantasy character.
That's what I thought.
Ooh. It would be, wouldn't it? Okay, anyway.
And they call him East.
Oh, then he'll have to have a brother named West.
Westron.
Westron.
Westron Eastern. Bye.
Bye.